Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Jim Atkinson from Antimony Resources. And of course, antimony is the new tungsten. Everyone is talking about antimony. Jim, why do you think antimony has escalated in being one of the top priority critical minerals recently?
I think people have started to realize how important it is in so many different aspects, not only, in the defense and the military side of things, but also as an industrial metal. And I think that's one of the things that people are starting to realize. Also, I think people are starting to notice the fact that the prices shot up from, let's say, $12,000 a metric ton to almost $60,000 a metric ton. And there's nothing like a price spike to get people interested. So I think that's partly what it is, the price, plus also people are suddenly realizing how important it is. You like to think of it from the point of view of, on the military side of things, if you don't have antimony, it really restricts your military in many ways. Antimony is used in munitions. It's used as a flame retardant for military materials. It's used in all kind of specific and specialized tasks like night vision goggles and stuff. So I think people are starting to realize that. And the combination of the spike in price, I think the people are realizing how important it is. And thirdly, I think people are starting to understand how China is using it as a geopolitical weapon as well. They restricted all export of antimony, even though they were by far the largest exporter of antimony. In December 2024, they restricted all export of antimony. And now they have somewhat opened it up, but now you have to make application for export licenses, and it's not simple. So I think those three kind of things, right? There's the realization, the geopolitical side of it, and also the price spike that has brought it to the forefront and caused a lot of people to start looking in that direction.
Well, I just want to add, I encourage our audience to always look up the CEOs and their background. And of course, you've actually run a producing antimony mine in your past, correct?
Yes, correct. Yes. Lake George Antimony.
And on top of that, you put out some exciting news earlier today where you've expanded your mineralization zone. Can you talk to us about the highlights about the news that just came out? Thank you.
Yeah, we have discovered, I didn't do anything, it was the guys. Anyway, we discovered a new mineralized zone that had never been seen before. There are other antimony occurrences on the property that are somewhat known and will have to be explored, but this is brand new. And the guys discovered it when they were putting in a drill road on the west side of the property. The drilling excavator actually dug it up, and the guys went and looked at it. Lo and behold, it had stibnite in it. And just to tell a funny story, so there's a bit of a controversy. So we call it the Marcus zone because Marcus was the prospector, the first prospector to look at it and break it open. And the excavator operator thinks we should name it after him because he's the guy that used his excavator to actually find it. But anyway, so it's called the Marcus zone. It's a brand new area of mineralization. It has some very nice, very spectacular looking stibnite mineralization. Stibnite, of course, is the mineral that contains the antimony. And so we're pretty excited about that zone. So we've sent the guys back in with the excavator, and they've actually exposed it over an area of about 50 to 75 meters long. The overburden is quite deep there, so it takes a lot of digging. But anyway, except where the one place where it's stuck up. But so we're so excited about this new discovery. We actually took one of our drills that was doing another job, and we put it there to do some discovery drilling in this area.
And of course, you were talking earlier about compressing your timeline, actually speeding up your timeline with the Bald Hill project, which is a very high-grade antimony resource. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes. What we've decided to do is to try to do as much as we can at the same time. And what I mean by that is that we've started the work towards a permit application, which includes background environmental work. It also includes things like consultation of various stakeholders. We've started doing all of that. And on the other side, we've also sort of started doing the technical side of it. So we have what's called a technical gap analysis, which tells us the kinds of information on the technical side of things, which we'll be needing and we'll be gathering over the next year, say. So, for instance, what kind of mining method is going to be appropriate? What kind of metallurgy will be appropriate? And to this end, we've started other studies. So, for instance, we have started a hydrogeological study. One of the things we'll have to know is what the groundwater and what the surface water is doing in the area. The other thing we've started, of course, is a metallurgical study, and we will have samples at a lab there doing metallurgical testing. We expect to get those results in a month or so. So we're trying to do as many things as we can at the same time, so that shortening up the timeline. And what we're aiming for is a permit application to the New Brunswick government by the end of 2026, early 2027. We have been speaking extensively with the New Brunswick government. We know them all very well, and we have been following their guidelines and also their advice. We spoke recently with the Department of Indigenous Affairs. We'll be getting contact with them and with the First Nations in New Brunswick. We recently had another meeting with the department. They call themselves local government, but they're basically the development group that look after the municipalities. And to that end, we had a meeting with the local municipality, which is called Falling Waters. And we had a meeting with their council and just did an explanation of what we're doing, what we expect, the kinds of disturbances we could expect, and those kind of things. So we're trying to do all of the things that we can do at the same time.
You mentioned to me that you were genuinely excited about the definition drilling results. Some of us may not understand what that actually is. Can you explain that a little bit further for me?
Sure. To calculate a resource, you need to have a very close space data point. So in our case, the data points for calculating the resource, of course, are drill hole intersections. So we need to have drill hole intersections that are at maximum 50 meters apart. And that means 50 meters in all directions. And the reason for that is so that the engineer that's doing the resource calculation can be confident that if he joins up two intersections, say, okay, I'm going to draw a line from this one to this one, that the drilling is close enough that the material is consistent enough that they would be very confident that they can join it up. So that's why we're doing the definition drilling. It's to give us a database that's detailed enough that we can actually eventually do a resource. Now, doing a resource is, it's a specific talent, shall we say, and we have a very good group that we've hired, SRK, to work on that with us, and they will be working not only with the resource in the end, but also helping us determine whether our drill spacing is close enough. And the one thing, and this is totally off topic a little bit, when I was first looking around for someone to work with on the antimony deposit, as far as, say, resource calculation, it's very difficult to find someone in Canada who actually has any experience doing resource calculation for antimony deposits. Now, there's lots of them that have done gold or base metals or various other things, but finding someone that has actually done something with an antimony deposit is a big challenge. And I was very lucky to find someone at SRK who had actually done work doing calculations of resources on antimony. And I was very happy with that. So that helped me out a lot. And it is in discussion with them that we've sort of determined 50 meters might be appropriate. Now, I would just mention one other thing. Of course, what we're doing is we're setting up a grid, basically, of drilling where each intersection will be 50 meters apart. Now, we also have, of course, another 30 or more drill holes at different spacing. So we can actually add those intersections in, so that the actual drill spacing, we hope, will be less than 50, but at a maximum 50.
So what should shareholders be looking forward to in the upcoming quarter?
I think two things they should be looking for in the upcoming quarter. I'm pretty sure we'll be finished our definition drilling by the end of this quarter, probably by the end of March, maybe a little bit into April. And they should be looking at results, but you have to understand the results from the lab take sometimes 4 to 6 weeks. We're hoping to get them in less than that. So the final assays for the drilling probably won't be coming out till early summer. But in the meantime, I think what we'll be doing is we'll be trying to expand our knowledge of the new areas that we have, and that will include drilling. And of course, we'll be able. One thing about antimony, which is good, it's a benefit, is that it's not like gold. When you drill it, you can actually see it. Now, you may not know exactly what the assay is, but you can tell if it's a meter of massive stibnite, it's going to be a pretty good assay. So we'll be able to do some, let's call them visual. We're not allowed to do visual assays, obviously, but we'll be able to make geological visual comments on what we're finding in our exploration drilling. As I've said many times before, we know pretty much what we're going to find with the definition drilling because we're drilling into the main deposit. As far as the exploration drilling, from my mind, I'm an exploration geologist. It's a little more exciting because you really don't know what you're going to get until you drill it. So that, I think, will be some exciting stuff happening there. And eventually, we'll be starting to get assays from that exploration drilling as well over the next quarter, I would say.
Well, for those of you interested in finding out more about Antimony Resources, please go to the following website. And of course, you're very active on social media. Make sure that you follow Antimony Resources. Thank you so much, Jim.
Well, thank you for having us.